So, in some of our recent videos, we've been talking about this convergence of things that are happening in our life right now and just all kinds of things, and kind of wanted to make some videos about some of the different things to talk about it and see how things go as things play out and see what God does. But one of them has to do with work and finances. And today I was kind of thinking about it, going back a little bit. When we first got married, right after we first got married, God was leading us to bring her home from work. And we thought it was for other reasons, but within a week or two, we found out Matt was coming. And so homeschool and take care of him and raising him and all that was one of the things. And then at the time, I had run the numbers. There's absolutely no way we could do it on paper. But how many years you been home now?
18, just about 18, I think. Now.
18 years. So God made that work somehow. And then the next thing was that I needed to have surgery in both of my shoulders. And I was going to have to go on a short-term disability, long-term disability on one income now that we couldn't afford to live on before. God kept us going on that. And then I ended up, surprisingly, we didn't know what it meant, but I had a partial permanent disability in my left shoulder, which put a lifting restriction on me. So going back to the job that I had, there was like a 75 pound lifting requirement. And mine was probably less than half of that. So all of a sudden, there were no positions within the company to go back to something. And we had been wanting to go into running our nonprofit ministry. So we felt like God was leading us to do that. So now he brought us to one income and now two incomes. We had no savings because, like I said, I was on disability, and no savings. We didn't know where $1 was going to come from, but God allowed that to work and to happen, and he did all kinds of things to keep us in that for 9 or 10 years, which was amazing growing period with God. So after that, we started needing some income. So I went back and I was working for Amazon for a little bit. And we thought, wow, it kind of feels like we're rich there. I wasn't even able to get in like a full 8 hours on that. And it was way down in income compared to what I had been making before, almost down to half. But it was killing my back. So then that's when I got on with Quest, and it was more money, and I was getting the full hours. And it's like, man, we feel like, wow, this is like we're going to be rich compared to what we were before, even though it was still not nearly as much as I was making before I went out for my shoulders. So, but then inflation, we needed to buy a new car, and all this stuff was going on. We had to, vet bills, things like that. And all of a sudden, the budget, we were just barely going to be making it. And it's like, well, what do we do now? And so this convergence that's happening, which I'll talk about some of the other things, Matt being done with high school. So she was going to be done with homeschooling, preparing curriculum, helping, and just all the things she did with that. So that was coming to an end. And
sorry.
Oh, blanket. We've got a cat getting into one of the other stories that I've got to tell about later on, but not on this one. All right. Beep, beep. All right. Sorry, Oreo. Disturbed Oreo, too. Our budget, it was getting wiped out with inflation and everything else. And it's like, what are we going to do? I mean, our rent increases or something like that, we're going to be over budget. So we started praying about it, thinking about it. And I don't remember how exactly it first came about. You possibly were, oh yeah. You had the transcription thing. Well, how did we first come about thinking about you working?
I think it just knowing that Matt, well, I think what happened is when he decided that he wanted to do the proficiency exam and be done with high school, then I realized, well, I'm going to be done with homeschool then, so what am I going to do now? And so we started with the proposal of me doing maybe a part-time something here at home that I could do. And so then that's when I was going down the transcription route. And but that didn't really seem like that would be a good fit for our family and for what our sort of some of the dreams and visions that we had. It was like it wasn't going to quite attain that. So
some of the things we felt God leading us into and stuff, and then you noticed there were these paralegal remote jobs, right?
Right, which there are, but I didn't really, after checking into them, I didn't really feel like that was a fit either, that it's kind of a mill oriented where you're not really making a whole lot of money, but they have a high yield they want from you. But they don't want to pay you for that.
So we started thinking about it, and because of some of the other things, like I said, we'll talk about that's on this convergence, this thing that are changing in our life. Then all of a sudden we started looking at, we made a which I don't even think this is it, a spreadsheet. We started looking at all kinds of different scenarios. Us both working full time, we knew, we didn't want to do that because my days off for Thursday, Friday, hers would be Saturday, Sunday. So we would never see each other. And way back in the beginning when we brought her home and went on one income, we decided that we wanted to cut out some lifestyle in order to have more life. And with us both working, even back then, we realized that our weekends, our days off, our vacations, we'd have to be doing the chores and projects and things like that we couldn't do with both of us working full time. So we're trying to figure it out. We're looking at all the different scenarios. Both of us working full time, me working full time, her working part time, and just all these every different scenario in that. And then had a number of things that we wanted to make sure were going to happen, like time together. We didn't want to be spending money on more than one car. So transportation, finances, what was going to be looking like it's going to be the best for us financially. And so there were 5 different things. And we counted up all the ones that lined up, all the different scenarios. And there were 2 of them that were 5 out of 5. And a while back when we were doing the nonprofit, we knew that 62 I would be able to start drawing on Social Security. I was already getting a pension, that Social Security added that. But as we neared it, I was noticing, that's not going to happen. That's not going to be enough for us to live on. So the 2 5 out of 5s were me actually retiring because she could make a lot more money as a paralegal than I can make as a driver. And it would help beef up her Social Security.
I think so.
So we thought that looked like that was going to be the direction we should go, so where we could start socking some money away and get toward some of the things that we feel like God's put on our heart that we'd like to do. Retirement and just all that kind of thing. So we would kind of be switching jobs. I would be having my pension, Social Security. I have some business ideas that I'd be working on, and then another, and then there's another one that's coming in on there. I don't know. Should we mention the other one?
Not yet.
Okay, not yet.
Sorry.
So anyway, how long are we going here? 10:31, a little 10 talk
We
here.
need to actually back up a little bit because when I found the remote paralegal was a thing, it was still, I was changing gears looking for work, but it still was part-time. But I was really finding that I don't think that was really going to pan out, and really for me to make the amount that I was thinking that
Because remote's less than an office. Yeah.
That I needed to go to an office, and that's when I was praying before you even came home. And, you know, that, Lord, if this is something that we should do, then I pray that Scott would be on board, that we would work it out, because we would have to share one car trying to get us both to work.
Which and I would feel kind of been a pain.
Yeah, but I feel like there was...
We're not going to talk about the part that happened today yet. I don't know if you're going there. Okay.
That there was a video resource that landed that same night, and all of a sudden you started talking about possibly retiring. That might be it. And then that's when we went, and then that's when it shifted to, okay, I can look for full-time work. But it was like the Lord just every day seems like he just gives little nibbles of like, you're on the right track, just little nibbles.
Yeah, and just like this is kind of the convergence of a big change here. I'll just throw this out. I'm not going to go into it or say anything about it, but family issues, health issues, and just financial issues. So there's a bunch of things going on at this time. And so we needed to figure something out, or we weren't going to be able to make our budget. And this looked like the best thing. So, you know, we don't want to get out of God's plan or the path he has for us. So we're still praying about it. We're still thinking about it. We've done the spreadsheet. We've done the things that we could do in our own thinking and in our own minds. But, you know, I mean, I would love that we could both just retire and do some of the other things that are happening right now. And, so that's where we're at. That's one of the convergence things that,
is that your word of the year?
She might be working, going back to work after 18 years. And she's gotten a little, we've kind of been on the opposites here, because like she's working out of the home, taking care of the home, doing the homeschooling and all that kind of stuff. And on days off, she wants to go somewhere. My job, I travel all over the place all day, every day. And when I get home, it's like, I just want to relax at home. So we're kind of on opposite things here. So it looks like we may switch in some ways. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what God's going to do. But that's one of the big things that's happening right now. And there are some other reasons that we'll talk about later of other reasons why this is a good idea or we should do this. Anyway, that's one of them. Just wanted to share about that at this time. Got anything else?
I don't think so.
All right. We'll see you on the next video, and we've got some more things to talk about.